As part of the efforts to combat drug abuse among young people in their community, Comrade Balogun Ishaku and his team paid a courtesy visit to Engineer Samuel Kofi, the CEO of Reticulated Global Engineering Limited. During their visit, they engaged in a media discussion with the CEO on various topics aimed at advancing the country.
We have a system that is skewed towards the female gender. Always hear women and children, girl child. Nobody talks about the boy child. And so the system is skewed in such a way that once a woman says the man is chasing her, people tend to believe. Unfortunately, I'm not in that category. So I think we should be dispassionate about it and be very objective. Whatever must have transpired between both of them is they're adults, and it should be their personal matter. It shouldn't come to euphoria. We're in a country where we have a lot of things we should be discussing. These are distractions. America experienced it, if you remember, Monica Lewinsky, and you saw how it was handled. Our relationship with Akpabio, if any, should be private between them. She should not it's wrong for her to bring it to the euphoria she has brought it to address it. As far as I'm concerned, they're both adults. When we were younger, I would say, if your girlfriend tells you your friend is chasing you, ask her, what of the person that chased you and you accepted? Did you tell me? So it shouldn't be a matter that should be addressed in the euphoria. Let's look at more serious matters that she raised. And she was talking about the issue of Ajakuta, right? Investigation into Ajakuta. I think that's what we should be discussing. I think unfortunately or fortunately, she has not done her research. It's part of what we are talking about. Because if she had done her research, she will know that Ajakuta is a matter of international conspiracy. There are groups of nations that don't want Ajakuta to function. From the time the concept of the steel plants, none of the steel plants are functioning. So it's not a matter of Ajakuta, it's an international conspiracy, which dates back to Murtala Mohammed. And so look at the trends of events that took place. Why did we have to borrow from Paris Club to build Ajakuta when Nigeria at that point was running a government that it was in the naira was higher than the dollar? So why did we need to borrow? Gowon said we don't even know what to do with money as the president was president. So these were international conspiracies to get us involved in a loan we didn't need to build Ajakuta. So for her to raise Ajakuta in the floor means she wants to swallow the Senate president and swallow herself. That means she doesn't even understand what she's talking about. Almost everything Obasanjo did worked. If you go back in the second tenure, why was Ajakuta an exception? What is the technology in Ajakuta that has made it impossible for another person to come and rebuild it? Ajakuta was designed by the Russians. Then it was called USSR, United Soviet Socialist Republic. They built Ajakuta. And the company that built it was Taparizon Export. I worked there in 1989. Taparizon Export designed Ajakuta. And so instead of the entire thing to be given to them, the West were able to pressurize the government to take a loan and give the civil part to Julius Berger, Fujiro, Dumais. And that is where the problem of Ajakuta started. Two enemies. Then it was the East Bloc and the West Bloc. Europe, America were the West Bloc. Russia was the East Bloc. Two arch enemies on the same project. That was the failure of that project. It was arranged to fail. Nigeria fell into that quagmire. And every effort to make it work has failed. Now there's a war between Ukraine and Russia. The Ukrainian technology, Taparizon Export, was a Ukrainian company based in Ukraine. And they are at war. And some information we have is that even the factory has been bombed. And so somebody comes up to talk about such a serious matter. Even if you want Ajakuta to work, you don't bring it to international community to hear. Should be a classified information, classified attempt. China does not go about making noise until they have finished what they want to do. Any serious country does that. Such information should attempt to make Ajakuta work, if it could work, should be done underground.
Joyce Stephen, J24 TV International News.